Hello, everyone. I'm Tracy Derwin. Thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the topic of disaster capitalism. Now, after these disasters happen, there is an influx of government funds. And most of the time, these funds go to government contractors. And a lot of these contracts are worth a lot of money, hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'm going to give an example of a property management company that is working in Maui right now and show you the kind of payments that this company is getting. I'm also going to show some clips from Luke, who is doing reels on Instagram pointing out this same topic going on in LA, as well as the company that he's going to be talking about is also working on the aftermath of the Lahaina fire. So I'll show you this one.
All right, so if you thought that my last post about the FEMA funded tiny homes was bad, this one is going to blow your mind. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers paid $396 million to ECC, the same company who's doing the LA fire cleanup, to clear 268 lots. That's almost $1.5 million per lot, which is not only enough to clear the lots of their fire debris, but it's enough to rebuild the homes. How can this not be corruption? Leave me a comment. Let me know if you think this is waste, fraud, or abuse, or if you've got your head in the clouds and you think everything is kosher with this.
Now, he was talking about the cleanup process. I'm going to bring up this page right here, and anyone can go here. It's usspending.gov. Any kind of government spending of this type has to be public. Okay, so Lima Charlie is doing the property management for the homes that are being leased to the victims of the fire. So people that didn't have homes can qualify for this program. And they hired this outside company to do the management. Now, a few months after the fire, the governor released an offer for people that own property on Maui. They can get a pretty decent payout if they rented their property to a fire victim or a family or something like that. The payments go from $5,000 to $11,000 a month. So it was pretty generous. So I think a lot of people did sign up to do this. But that number pales in comparison to the amount that the property management company is getting. So here's the overall amount. So total awards, $177.5 million goes to Lima Charlie. Okay, a lot of these leases are just, every time I look here, the number goes up. So I think there are 637 properties signed up in this program. Now let me pull up here are the individual leases. So these are the highest. So I filtered in from the highest to the least. But look at these amounts. The top one, $3.1 million for a property that is leased from October 28th of last year till November 28th. So this is a 13-month lease, and it costs $3.1 million. Here, the next one is from December of last year till June 30th of this year. So that's only a 6-month lease. This is not even a year. It's $1.263 million. And you can go on this site. I'll link it in the description. You can see all of the individual leases that they're managing. There's tons that are over $900,000. So the majority of this amount goes to the property management company, not to the victims, definitely not to the victims, and not to the property owners. And it's not hard to say that with a lot of these properties, homes could have been built with this amount for those victims, or some of this money could be going directly in cash assistance to the victims. And let me just remind you that each household got $700 as a one-time payment to help. So that I think came out to, I think, $2.5 million total for the $700. And look at how much money is going. This is just property management. So of course you could go on this site and see it for yourself. I highly recommend you do that. And again, this is just one of the companies. I think there are other property management companies. I'm not sure, but it seems like this one is the main one. They do manage a lot of the properties. So another topic that he has brought up is that these contracts don't go back to the community oftentimes, at least with these two cases. They go to outside agencies that have connections with the federal government. So instead of hiring a local property management company that, the company could, provide jobs and, the money will go back to Maui, that's not happening. It's going outside. And that is a big problem. And I'm going to play this clip of some contractors that are being shorted from the work. They're not getting paid for the work they did shortly after the LA fires.
For us, it was a ripoff. The only people that are making money, it's the Army Corps of Engineers, ECC. Maybe it stops at Shimmick. Everybody after that, everybody's getting screwed.
How many other truckers are you guys aware of that are in the same boat?
I think it's probably about 35 trucks that haven't gotten paid.
I mean, do you think you'll get paid, or?
We've already asked ECC. They have no answers. We asked Shimmick. They say that the same thing. Nobody has an answer. The agreement was we're going to get work 30 days. After the 30 days, it was going to become a weekly payment. It was a government contract that we were going to get paid. It never happened.
Where we're doing probably from 12 to 14 hours a day.
$300 a day in fuel, plus your labor.
Yes.
Got it. 2 months you guys driving without being paid. And I don't know if you guys have looked into this, but I want homeowners to be aware. The buck stops with a prime contractor. He's responsible to pay all of the subcontractors. That could include people who are renting vehicles, truckers, you name it. You guys have the right to put a mechanics lien on these properties to make sure that you get paid. And ultimately, you can't sell your property until you've resolved those liens. You guys deserve to be paid. And for a homeowner, by the way, you should be checking with the Army Corps of Engineers to make sure the bills have been paid on your property, for truckers and equipment rental and everything else, because you could end up getting hit with a mechanics lien or a big lawsuit because your subcontractors weren't paid.
So that you're hearing about guys that had already done work for the cleanup or the rebuilding. I'm not sure exactly what they were doing, but they have done the work. They said 12 to 14 hours a day, and they haven't been paid by the government for the work they've already done. ECC and these big contracts get all the money, and the amounts are very high. So in Maui, he said $1.5 million to clean up each lot on average. And you saw the Lima Charlie property management fees, upwards of $1 million for a year lease on these properties that the victims are living in. So I just wanted to bring up this topic of disaster capitalism. This is an opportunity for a lot of companies to make a lot of money, and that is after a big disaster. So I wanted to make a very concise video because I discussed this in my live, but that was over an hour, and a lot of people wanted to send this information out. So I hope this is going to be helpful. If you want to share this video, because a lot of people just aren't aware of the funds and where they're going, and the fact that there is money to help the victims. As you have seen, the government is just reluctant to do that. So I want to make that very clear. Please let as many people know what's going on. I highly doubt this is limited to LA and Maui. And I really think, more people need to know, and things really need to change when it comes to these disasters. So that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.